Hi there, it's Nicole here today for Simon Says Stamp, and I am sharing a card with the November card kit called Kind Flowers, and we're going to die cut a greeting from the stamped image. This is a fantastic way to draw attention to the greeting but still have it be part of that image. And this image is actually one from the stamp set included in the kit. So here's what the kit looks like. I'm going to share kind of my opening the kit and what all is inside. So first of all, there are these awesome leaf sequins, a greeting that says, or a die that says kind. So it's going to work with the Kind Flowers clear stamp set included in the kit. And you might notice this is a oversized stamp set. This is a 6x8 stamp set. Look at those greetings, the flowers, the images. Phenomenal. Then there is a Pebbles Heart of Home 6x6 paper pad. Lots of beautiful patterns. Some have that gold kind of foil look to them. Beautiful. Absolutely awesome. This is right where I decided this is the paper I wanted to use for my card. Then there is the coordinating Heart of Home accent stickers. Some of these also have that gold foil accenting. And then look at these specialty papers from the kit. Isn't that beautiful? These have some awesome texture to them. This is the silver. There's also the gold. It's kind of an ivory gold. And then the bronze embossed was the brown. Plus we've got some sheets of cardstock, cream, brown, I guess it's dark chocolate, cream, green apple, and green leaf. So the green cardstock in the kit really kind of inspired the green accents on my cards. It's very neutral with the exception of that and some green Nuvo crystal drops I'm going to add to the stamped image when I'm finished. But I am going to be using one of the 6x6 pattern papers from the Pebbles Heart of Home paper pack. That's that paper you see right there. The cream and dark chocolate cardstocks. And then I'm going to be trimming down the cream cardstock with one of my favorite, most versatile dies from Simon Says Stamp, the scallop stitches. This die set comes with 3 different size scallops. I'm using the medium size scallop here today. I absolutely love this die set. If you want to add a decorative edge to a fairly simple design card, where this is going to be a pattern paper background, a cream matte for the dark chocolate strip. It just instantly adds a gorgeous textured strip to this. So I'm double checking. My stamp, when I measured it, I needed about 2.5 inches for the stamped image to fit. I'm using that largest floral image from the Kind Flowers stamp set, and it's about 2.5 inches, just a little less. So I wanted my brown cardstock to fit within that. I trimmed that cream strip to 3 inches by 5.5 inches, and then die cut each side with that medium-sized scallop stitch die. So here's what the background's going to look like. Here is my stamp. I am going to use the Misty to get my stamp lined up perfectly. I want it centered in the middle of the dark chocolate cardstock. I want the greeting to be straight. And I am going to stamp this with Versamark ink and heat emboss with gold embossing powder. I like the gold embossing. I think it picks up the gold foiling from the pattern paper, and it really goes nicely with the rest of the elements in the card. I'm going to use a powder tool so that the embossing powder stays only on my stamped image. I'm going to use my magnet here to hold everything down and hold it in place. Ink up this image, stamp it, and then we're going to heat set this with gold embossing powder. I am going to go ahead and do one of my favorite techniques with this, and that is watercoloring on dark cardstock. I love the look of metallic watercolors on dark cardstock, but you can also use regular watercolors. And from the 36 watercolor set that I'm using, I'm only using 3 colors. And those colors, I'm going to tell you the colors I'm using here. Well, maybe. I'm using Evergreen, and then I am going to use Gold, and finally my favorite, the Silver, which I think it's kind of silvery white. But these colors really pick up the colors of the kit. Now, where I put that powder tool, I am just going to wipe off that powder. I don't want that powdery, chalky look all over my background. So I'm simply wiping it off. And really, look how beautiful it is just like this. If you wanted to do an even simpler design, it's gorgeous this way as well. I'm using a water brush pen, and I am going to start coloring in some of the areas. I started with what I call white, but this is the silver paint. And it is kind of shimmery. I am going to start with this and color in all the areas that are white. Invariably, I miss somewhere and I have to go back, but for the most part, I'm going to try to hit everything that's white first, clean off my paintbrush really good, and then I'm going to go in and paint the evergreen areas. And look how awesome that green looks on the dark cardstock. This was really something I hadn't really tried before, so I was super excited to see how it would work, and really thrilled to see how great it looks and how it really does seem to stand out on that dark cardstock. I am going to color everything that's going to be green with this green color. And again, try to get it all with one pass, but I generally miss somewhere and have to come back. Now, in between the letters, you can see that there is some of the design. The design continues. And this is important because the coordinating die is going to die cut that little notch between the K and the I. And I'm going to need that piece for creating my background. I'm going to color in some of the gold areas as well. Again, making sure to hit anything that might be behind the greeting. I love using the water brush pen because it's quick and easy. If you don't have a water brush pen, a paintbrush dipped in water works just as good. This already has water in it, so it just makes that process a little bit quicker. Here I'm going back, filling in some areas I forgot, and I want to do two-tone for some of these flowers. However, I got a little too much water, so it went into the area I painted gold. I'm just using the tip of a paper towel to lift that color up and trying to have a little less water, even though it's a little bit hard here. I think this, where these areas are so small, I might have done better with a small paintbrush. So just lift up a little bit of this color. Finish adding some tips of white or silver. I'm leaving the centers of any of the flowers plus those little circles around the design open, and I'm going to be filling any of those in with Nuvo crystal drops instead of coloring them with any of these watercolors. I'm also going to save the word kind and watercolor it once I'm finished putting the card together. I'm stamping a phrase from the Kind Flowers stamp set on my brown dark chocolate cardstock using Versamark and heat embossing with white embossing powder. And then I'm going to trim this into a thin strip. Again, brush off any of the powder tool residue. I've die cut several of the word kind from the solid cardstock because this is what I'm going to use to pop up the design. That way it's seamless and all you're going to see is that great dark chocolate border. Then I die cut the word kind from that image, from this panel, and I'm going to put these three pieces together Go ahead and do an inlay style with one of the solid die cut kind pieces. Put that little notch between the K and the I back in place from the die cut word that has all the stamping. And I'm going to stack all of these solid kind die cuts one on top of another. There's 4 of these. So in total, there will be 5 layers. 4 solid die cut kind words, and then the stamped and die cut word that goes on top. And it just makes it pop, makes it really stand out. For my greeting strip, I'm going to put this little strip of foam adhesive on the back and trim that off. Now, what I forgot when I started to put this on my card is that the greeting has the word kind in it. It reads, "Thank you for being so kind," which is great, but I want my word in my design to be part of the greeting. So I just simply trimmed off the word kind and then popped my strip right above the die cut, so that it's all part of the design. I'm going to take that silver now and paint in all of the letters and really finish it off and make this part of that floral design. I think this is just a beautiful image. I really, really love it. I thought I might add a little bit of green. I missed a couple of little areas, so I went ahead and went over those with my green paint. Then I'm going to take some Woodland Green Nuvo crystal drops, and I'm filling in all those little dots around the design with green. In the center of all of the flowers, I'm using my favorite copper penny. I love this with metallic accents or metallic watercoloring. I think it goes beautifully. And then I almost changed my mind and I left it in here so you could see that I thought I might color over the silver with the gold, and I did not like it. I think it blends into the gold embossing too much. So I just kind of picked it up real quick and went over it again with my silver. Attach this whole panel to a white side fold card base. And then I'm going to finish the design by going around the background with pale gold Nuvo crystal drops. And this bottle has given me fits. Out of all of my Nuvo crystal drops, this one exploded one time, so it's missing quite a lot of the product from the bottle, and it had a little air bubble, so it's, even though I always go on a scrap piece of paper first and it was fine, when I took it to my project, of course an air bubble blew out and it kind of splattered, so I had to kind of fix that a little bit. But I think this finishes off the design really nicely. I love the contrast of this nice pale gold with the copper penny and the green and the silver and all of that with the design. Really beautiful. This one did not go on nicely, so really fast I took a needle and just kind of scooped that product right into the little drop, fixed it, rounded it out, let this sit and dry, and my Kind Flowers card is all finished. Thanks for joining me today for this card featuring the Simon Says Stamp November 2017 card kit Kind Flowers. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Simon Says Stamp that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.